Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Now, today's ink I have in sample form DeAtramentis Blackberry, which is one of their scented inks. And I say in one of the paper tests that it smells like store-brand berry chapstick, but it also kind of smells like, if you ever got like the wild fruit version of Lifesavers, it kind of smells like those. Yeah, so when you get in a bottle, looks like this. It's 35 milliliters, it's glass. And the pens I used were a Copier Vector in medium and a Lamy Safari with a 1.1 stub. Let's check out the chromatography because it's kind of interesting. For some reason it made me think of Captain America. But anyways, there's this light blue at the bottom and then goes into a very vibrant red. But what's interesting is there's very little purple in between. So there's like a very distinct separation, which I thought was kind of cool. But anyways, paper test, top down in density, Clairefontaine 90 grams per square meter. Now the Safari took 13 seconds to dry and the Vector took 10. There's not a great deal of shading. I said there's none, but there is some, just not a lot of it. And there was bleed. And for some reason it was running really wet in both those pens, so yeah, and it gave it sort of a woolly texture. So I said near feathering, because like if you look at the word feathering, it looks like it's almost there. But yeah, pretty decent water resistance. It's pretty dark. It exploded a little bit, I'll admit, but yeah, it's pretty dark, it's pretty there, it's pretty readable. Not great. Next is Rhodia 80 grams per square meter, where you get a bit more shading, especially in the stub. But Lamy Safari took 19 seconds, Copier Vector took 14, so it took longer to dry. There's near bleed in spots, but it's definitely less woolly looking, as I say here. So you don't get that feathering or near feathering effect. There's no spread. I actually really like this color. It's a nice dark red maroonish thing going on. Here the water test is not as impressive. It did explode a bit, it did feather a bit, more of it is gone. Did dye the page just a touch. And there's not quite bleed through, but the echo is so close, it's nearly there. And I thought it was interesting to note that it's the dots of eyes and things. So next is Tomoe River Paper, where the Copier took 21 seconds to dry and the Lamy took 25. Now again, it was running pretty wet, but still, that's pretty long. Nice rich color. You do get sort of a dark halo effect happening. Yeah, I said no full-on bleed, but the echo is pretty serious. And yeah, no spread, no feathering, epic dry times. This is actually a little darker in person, oddly. Usually it's the other way around. But again, it's very pink, and it's fairly clear. If you had to recover that, you probably could if you sat and you know, took the time. As you can see, like I said, near echo, or pretty serious echo to near bleed. That's because I put it down in something wet, so. Next is 20-pound Copier Paper, and on these next three tests, I just used the medium Vector, and as you can see, that really didn't help its chances much. It spread a lot. There's really no shading. There's a good deal of feathering. There's plenty of bleed. And my Copier Vectors usually run pretty dry. And this is just a medium nib, so although the wet flow, you know, probably contributed 2.5 seconds to dry, it really didn't, yeah, it's a bad showing. And also I want to show you this water test because it looks like the camera's out of focus. I mean, it really does look like an out of focus camera, which I found kind of interesting, but Yeah, it exploded. It's messy. Looking at it kind of makes my eyes hurt, but... Next is Mead Notebook Paper, where again took 2.5 seconds to dry, and even though I only used the medium vector, yeah, it's not a great showing. There's really no shading. There's that woolly, feathery thing going on. That water test is a disaster. Again, it kind of hurts my eyes to look at it for too long because I feel like they've gone out of focus. A lot of bleed. I said maybe an extra fine might do, but I don't know. I really don't know. Moleskine notebook paper, where again I only used the medium vector and it really didn't help. Because that's pretty bad. 5.5 seconds to dry. Yeah, bleed, feather, spread. So it's an utter mess. Look at that. That's terrible. It exploded, it feathered, it dyed the page, it warped the paper. And that's a lot of bleed. So, yeah, there you go. DeAtramentis Blackberry. The smell is not intense, so it didn't really bother me, but a couple of the times that I've bought a sample, the smell wasn't intense, but then when I bought a bottle, whew, it was overwhelming. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. It was definitely problematic, so not ideal in many situations, but I mean, if you have experience with this ink, please do leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. So for your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. Bye.